And now on to game two, already in progress. Akira went first this time. He rode the Gojo, did a drop and draw, got rid of a 10k shield actually. I don't know, I never liked doing that. Mythos rides Calamity Tower Wyvern, which means he's gonna have a 5k. That's an interesting choice, but I understand what he wants to do. It means that Mythos is going to be really susceptible to early damage later on, but he doesn't really care about early damage. So it just depends on what happens. Speaking of early damage, Akira would have taken 2, but he decides to use Calamity Tower Wyvern to guard. He can't use it later. And I think Akira's misriding. Oh, a double click glitch. Ah. Yeah, double click glitch is actually a thing. There are a lot of times where you'll click once and it'll act like you clicked twice. So you'll draw 2 when you mean to draw 1. It actually happens a lot to a lot of different people. I think it's happened to me once or twice. And Akira actually didn't opt to go for heavy damage, which means either he's conserving his hand to guard or he just didn't have the ability to do it at that time. I'd believe either or at this point. Mythos rides striking, which means he's going for as much damage as possible next turn at the cost of no drive check for this turn. He calls Dragonic Burnout and uses it to get rid of Red Pulse, so Red Pulse won't be getting him a grade 3 later. Then again, he didn't use it for that last turn, so it's probably more likely to decrease his field, so he has to drop more hand in order to do Rebirth's ability. But that was kind of negated by the draw trigger anyway. Akira uses a 10k shield to guard. He really didn't want that third damage. Rides the Overlord, Break Ride, and calls the Wyvern to get a free draw. Well, not free, it costs a Soul Blast too, but unless you're going to spam Burnout, you don't need a lot of soul in this deck. And that's 12k. He's not attacking the Vanguard because the Vanguard gains 5k if it's ever attacked by something unboosted. So the only thing that can actually hit it would be Overlord, the Vanguard. Mythos doesn't protect his rears at all, and no guards the Vanguard, so Akira's going to get a twin drive from this. And no triggers. Actually, double Berserk comes out of it, which is odd. It's kind of surprising to see Akira using Berserk Dragon because it eats up Counterblast. Then again, if you run the deck properly, then in all admittance, you don't need to use Rebirth's ability that much, and you don't need to use up a lot of Counterblast. The Break Ride and the Limit Break cost 2 Counterblast. Berserk costs 2 Counterblast, and then doing one Rebirth by itself would be 1 more Counterblast, which, not accounting for healing or what's that unit called? Bellicosity. Not accounting for any of those, that's really all you need. If I was Mythos, I actually would have went for the Burning Horn just because his hand is so low. With Akira's hand so low, you would kind of want to... I don't know. That's what I would do. I'm not a Kagero player. That's 12 at the Vanguard. That's the other reason why I would do it, is because it can attack and hit the 11k without a boost. And Akira double draw triggers. That was really oh, another draw trigger. Draws everywhere. Everybody gets a draw. And a critical trigger. If that had been another draw trigger, I would have actually just I would have just thrown up my hands and walked away. Because that ain't supposed to happen. Akira only needs 10k to 2 pass that. Considering the way he's been playing up to this point, he'd do it. Yeah, he did it. And that other side is going to hit for 17. The only question is, what is it going to hit? Berserk. That's a weird choice. I would have went for Burning Horn. Yeah, there's a Dragonic Overlord in that drop zone, so he can use the ability. And he chooses not to. Oh, that's why. He has no soul. Okay. Mythos no guards the Vanguard, and a heal trigger appears, so it's going to be 2 to 4 at least. And a critical trigger, crit and heal, so it's 5 to 2, and Mythos also has to deal with that hulking attack right there. And he drops 2 10Ks in order to guard it. Mythos break rides, and he's dropping his entire hand so that he can use limit break. It's kind of weird. Mythos has 2 grade 2s in one column, 2 grade 1s in another column. The 2 grade 1s is understandable. So let's see, Twin Drive check, Rebirth, and critical trigger. So he can counterblast 1, discard, Rebirth, restand, and attack. And now Akira has to decide. Yep, he decides to no guard. So he's taking 2 damage from this. Perfect guard and critical trigger. So that's 3 damage. That just evened things up. Akira does have a perfect guard in hand, though, if I remember correctly. I might not be remembering correctly. There's always that chance that I'm not remembering correctly. If he has a perfect guard, that's what he has to do to... Oh, he doesn't have one. Otherwise, he'd be using it. That's 21, 31. That's a 1 pass. And that's a 2 pass. And that's a no pass. And he doesn't realize that's a no pass. No, wait, that's 21, 31, 41. Oh, right, he's at 43, so that's 2 pass. I mathed it incorrectly. And a draw trigger. So all of the advantage shifted in one move. And right now Akira is doing everything he can to mount some sort of offense. That's strange, considering that with Dragonic Overlord he could have attacked that anyway. Akira's just going in. He wants to do that last damage. Considering the situation, I don't really blame him. It's just kind of strange to see how hard he's going in. So he counterblasts 1, discards 1, restand, and the Vanguard can attack again. But he's going to attack with the rears first, actually. Is he going to attack with both rears first? No, he wants that perfect guard gone. Also, it helps in case of a trigger appears. And a trigger didn't appear. And 10k block for the for that. Now, he could rebirth. He's going to rebirth. With his field setup, he kind of had to. But Mythos also fucked up. Now Akira's thinking. He can drop the perfect guard, but he won't be able to guard the one after, so he no guards. And there's a critical trigger. It'd be really hard for Akira to heal enough to actually live through that. And he can't do it. Good games. That is the end of the team war. DS wins. Good games to both players. Those were actually good matches. Really good matches.